Joseph Zieler was brought into court for a case that had haunted Cape Coral, Florida, for more than 2 decades. The events that led him to trial occurred in May 1990, when an 11-year-old girl, Robin Cornell, and her 32-year-old babysitter, Lisa Story, were tragically killed. The 2 victims were discovered in their home, having suffered terrible violence. Robin's mother, Jan Cornell, returned to the townhouse after a night out to make the heartbreaking discovery. Despite investigators' best efforts at the time, the case went cold and no suspects were identified. For years, the community was left without answers, and the case seemed unsolvable until 2016, when advances in forensic technology breathed new life into the investigation. DNA evidence preserved from the crime scene was retested, and the results led directly to Joseph Zieler. Already in custody for an unrelated charge, Zieler was now linked to the unsolved case from decades earlier, and he was charged with the murders of Robin and Lisa. The trial focused on the violent nature of the crime, with the prosecution using DNA evidence to connect Zieler to the scene. They argued that on the night of the incident, Zieler had entered the home and committed a brutal attack. The court learned that Jan Cornell, Robin's mother, had been away that evening, and Lisa Story had been taking care of Robin. When Jan returned home the next morning, she walked into a deeply disturbing scene. Both victims had suffered and lost their lives in a horrible manner. Despite the overwhelming evidence against him, Zieler denied any memory of the event. He claimed to have suffered memory loss after a motorcycle accident in 1998, making it impossible for him to recall the crime. This defense, however, did little to sway the jury. The prosecution emphasized the evidence and painted a picture of a cold, calculated crime. In 2023, more than 3 decades after the incident, Zieler's trial reached its final stages. The jury found him guilty, and the sentencing phase began. During this period, Zieler's unpredictable behavior became evident. One day, during a courtroom session, he suddenly called his attorney, Kevin Shirley, over to speak with him. As Shirley leaned in to listen, Zieler, with his hands cuffed behind his back, struck Shirley in the face with his elbow.
Shirley, are you okay?
I'm fine.
I'm relaxed. Don't cough. Relax.
I used to box. I've taken a lot better shots than that.
Yeah, well,
The attack shocked the courtroom, and officers quickly restrained Zieler. His erratic behavior during the trial culminated in this act of violence, further adding to the seriousness of his case. After being subdued, Zieler displayed unsettling behavior, revealing a grin with the word "killer" engraved on his teeth, solidifying the image of someone without remorse. This incident reinforced the view that Zieler posed a serious threat, not only because of his past actions, but also due to his volatile behavior in court. The jury, after hearing the arguments and witnessing Zieler's behavior, recommended the ultimate sentence, the death penalty. The court agreed, citing the calculated, cruel, and violent nature of the crime. For Robin's mother, Jan Cornell, and Lisa's loved ones, the sentencing marked a long-awaited moment of justice. Although nothing could undo the pain and loss they had endured, the verdict brought a measure of closure after decades of waiting for answers. The Cape Coral Police Department also expressed gratitude for the hard work of their detectives and forensic experts, whose persistence finally led to Zieler's conviction. After years of unanswered questions, justice had been served. Zieler's sentencing brought an end to one of the most infamous cases in Cape Coral's history, a case that haunted the community for years. Despite his protests of memory loss and claims of innocence, the court found overwhelming evidence of his guilt. With his violent behavior during the trial, any lingering doubts about the type of person Zieler was had been erased. This case serves as a reminder of how advancements in technology can bring long-delayed justice, even in cases that once seemed unsolvable. For the families of Robin and Lisa, Zieler's sentencing finally marked the end of a painful chapter, ensuring that he would never harm another person again.